guys, it's me again. I am going to talk today about some foundations. I had a request to go over the foundations that I use and what I think of them. Excuse my minimal makeup look. I went to an interview this morning, so I do not have any false eyelashes on, which is just weird. So for now, I'm going to go over the foundations that I have. Now, I have to explain my skin. I have really dry skin. Like, really, it's like the Sahara in the wintertime, and it's just awful. Like, it's bad. But now that it's kind of spring, it's getting warmer, I don't need to use as much moisturizer. So here are the products that I absolutely cannot live without before I put my foundation on. And of course, the first one is going to be MAC Fix Plus. This stuff pretty much saves my life on every day before I put my makeup on. I spray this stuff like crazy on my face before I put makeup on. If my face is really dry, I'll apply coconut oil on my face about an hour before I'm going to do my makeup, just so it can kind of settle in, and then I put Fix Plus on, and then I apply my foundation. I also put this on after I'm done my complete makeup look, because I find it adds like such a really nice like dewy finish, and it gives you a really nice like extra glow. There's also Amrazi, she does that as well. That's where I learned that trick from. And her skin is always amazing, like always glowing. So that's what I use before I put foundation on. So next, my number one ultimate favorite foundation of life is the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. Now this stuff is amazing. Like, I honestly don't know why I waited so long to get it. I was reluctant because it is more expensive, and I've only ever bought probably two really expensive foundations. I know I'm such a newbie when it comes to buying foundation, but I don't really have a whole lot of money, so I have to be very picky about what it is that I buy. And I read so many reviews on it, and everyone was saying that it produced such a glowy finish, and it's great for all skin types. So I went into a Holt Renfrew in Toronto, and I wanted to actually test it because I gotten to the point where I can tell just by the look and feel of a foundation if it's going to be too drying on my skin. Now, I wasn't always like that, but I've been sampling so many foundations that I just could tell. I was like, okay, that is clearly, the formula is just not going to work for me before it even touched my face. Not to sound snooty, but it's just like you really get to understand what works for you and what doesn't work for you when you go through so many formulas. So I saw it there, tested it, brought a sample home, and I could tell even by the look of it. I was like, this is gonna be amazing. So sure enough, dewy, amazing. Like, usually around my chin is the most dry. It is just awful. Like, if I apply any drying foundation, boom, it's like my chin is just flaky immediately. So this was great because it didn't do that. It was so dewy. I mean, obviously without the Fix Plus, like, I'm wearing the Armani foundation right now and I don't have any Fix Plus on it. So it is more of a matte finish. So in the summertime, when it does get more warm and more moisturizing, and I probably won't really need it on the really hot days, and I can get away with not using the Fix Plus, which is really nice. It's nice to have those alternatives. Number one foundation, recommended if you have normal to dry skin. And Resi, she says that she has oily skin and she uses it and she loves it, so maybe it's just a matter of using more powder to make it more of a matte finish for those people who do have oily skin. So my next foundation that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and this was the first full coverage foundation that I ever bought, was the YSL Le Teint Touche Eclat foundation. And this foundation is, I would say it's pretty much on par with the Armani. It is super close. It is maybe like 1% more drying than the Armani, which is really not that dry at all. Like, if you have normal to drier skin, you could totally get away with using this. I find it is more full coverage, just a tad, than the Armani. So it produces more coverage, and also you can get away with using less of this. Like, it's a little bit thicker. So you can get away with using less. It smells amazing. Like, it really does smell fantastic. So this was like amazing. I actually sampled this when I was pregnant, which is a bad idea. If you're pregnant and you're thinking about buying a foundation, probably just get a sample for the rest of your pregnancy and then wait till your skin has returned to normal status after. I made the mistake of buying it right after I gave birth to my son. So my skin hadn't really, my hormones were still changing. So yeah, my skin when I was pregnant was amazing. It was fantastic. It was completely normal. In fact, it probably was a little bit on the oily side, especially in the summertime. So this looked fabulous. And I was like, yeah, this is the it foundation. And then I wore it, I bought it after probably about a couple months after I gave birth. And I was like, why is it not as dewy as it was looking before? So I had to, and I don't, like, I really, if I'm going to buy a foundation and I'm going to pay $70 for it, I'm going to use it, or I'm going to find a way to use it up. So that's when I started looking a lot more into like the Fix Plus and moisturizer, you know, using the Fix Plus before and after, and just, you know, like really trying to work the skin to make sure that I could still wear this without looking like a flake bomb, basically. And I am shade B30 in this, and in the Armani I'm a shade 4. So I'm like across, I have Asian ethnicity, so I have a little bit of like slight yellow undertones for my skin anyways, and I'm actually quite fair. So whenever I go in somewhere I'm like, oh, I'm pretty fair. So that's my shade. So that's that foundation. Though both the Armani and the YSL Teint Touche Eclat are both full coverage foundations, like full coverage, and neither of them have SPF, so they're perfect for photographing in. And I'm pretty picky about photographing just because I am a photographer part-time on the side, so, and I do photograph my makeup for Instagram and that sort of thing, and especially, it's not so much a big deal if you're wearing a foundation that has SPF and you're taking photos in natural lighting. It's when the flash kicks in that it really can distort like the look of the foundation. So generally speaking, I just avoid SPF. However, that being said, this is the other foundation that I actually used to wear every single day, and I've had this for 2 years, been obsessed with it, and I've tried to experiment with other foundations, but every time I went to another foundation, I just was like, no, I have to go back to this one. This is the MAC Studio Face and Body Foundation. This stuff, to me, is kind of like a BB cream. It's a little bit thicker, probably has a little bit more coverage, not thicker, sorry, but more coverage than a BB cream. But I have like a lot of freckles, so this is a perfect, like if I want to look really natural, like if I'm going to go to the beach and I just want to look fresh faced, boom, and it has SPF, which is great. It's amazing. Like you can put it on your legs, you can put it on your neck, and it won't even look like you have makeup on. Very simple. It's very like watery, not really, but it has more of that consistency, so it's more liquidy than it is like the YSL foundation. So amazing. Like I don't wear this as much now just because I am liking the more full coverage foundation, but when, you know, the middle of summer comes and I just want to go outside and throw something on really quick, then I will wear this. I also do not take any photographs in this foundation of myself anyways, because I find it's a little bit too light. And when you photograph makeup, you're gonna lose some of that quality of that makeup, and you're gonna see more of your skin per se. So I don't use this when I photograph, but it is like for work, for every day, that sort of thing. This stuff is perfect, and it's so easy to apply, and it's super easy to blend, and it's not that expensive, so it's fabulous. So those are my 3 foundations. I have tried Makeup Forever HD foundation in the past, Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation, the Sephora, I forget exactly what it's called, but the Sephora foundation is very moisturizing. The Sephora foundation actually is a cross between the MAC Studio Face and Body and like the Armani. It's not as light coverage, but it's not full coverage either, and it's also very moisturizing. I did like it, and I was seriously considering buying it, but it was either going to be that or the Armani. Well, that was an easy decision to make. Clearly I was going to get the Armani. So I say down the road, like if I get sick of the MAC Studio Face and Body, which is probably not going to happen, but if I want more variety, then I'm probably going to get the Sephora foundation. I don't remember exactly what the name is, but I will find it and I will put it in the link down below. And I will put all the links to these foundations down below in the box so you can see them and you can look them up. And that also you can find reviews and prices and that sort of thing. So for setting my makeup, I don't actually use any powder foundation. I use to set, because especially with the Armani, because it is so silky when you put it on, I find that if I don't set it with powder right away, or when I'm done my makeup, if I like accidentally like rub my face when I'm doing my makeup, it'll kind of come off. So I use the Makeup Forever Professional High Definition Powder. This stuff I have had for a really long time, and I actually really didn't use it a lot until lately, until I got into like really setting the makeup to make sure that it would last for a really long time. And this is really great. Like, it's white powder, but it doesn't make me look any lighter, and it does a really good job at maintaining the look of your makeup and really setting the foundation.